ever get this feeling where you know you want to do something, but at the same time you don't? You know you should do something because it's healthy for you, because you have the opportunity to do it, but there's this resilience inside that's in the back of your head that's like, I don't want to do it. Those are the moments when you should execute. Those are the moments where you throw thought aside and jump straight into it, because without the thinking and removing the thinking, you would be able to do so much more, right? So obviously today we're going to be delving into what it means to execute when you don't really feel like it. And I think this especially applies to, we're going to use the example of the gym. I think a lot of us feel the effort of the gym is a lot to push yourself, or any physical exercise. It doesn't have to be specific to the gym, but physical exercise, it takes a lot to push yourself. A lot of the time it is out of your comfort zone. You're straining your body, you're pushing your body to a certain extent, which isn't in the comfort zone as such. So therefore, you're going to feel uncomfortable. Your body's going to feel uncomfortable. That's the whole point. You're putting it through a bit of stress. Stress test to build yourself up, right? You have to break your muscles apart to rebuild them. So this stress test is just physical in this example, but also you could argue mental, because you are having to convince yourself, right, I am going to go there. I am going to do this. But the reason or how you remove the mental side is completely just stop thinking about it and do it. You get to go to the gym today. Go do it. Don't say, this and all that. Just do it. There's no deep down. There's no real excuse unless you're physically injured or physically really tired. So it's good that feeling you get of pushing yourself, that your body feels when it goes through all this pressure, is unmatched, right? Like I always say, you never go to the gym and feel, that was a waste of time. You never feel that, because your body feels like, I've done something, I've worked towards something, I feel good, and that creates these endorphins in your brain. And so without pushing yourself physically, of course you're going to feel a bit down, a bit depressed, because you're not challenging yourself physically, right? You aren't. Your body feels a bit stagnated. It's not doing much. It's getting bigger and bigger over time because you're not moving, you're not active. So getting over the fact, or getting over this feeling of, I don't want to do this, but I get to, jump at it. Stop thinking, go, do it. The tips I've given before of when I need to go to the gym is I park on double yellow lines, and so I have to go. I have to move my car anyways. By the time I get to my car, may as well go to the gym. So there's no point in me going outside, parking, moving it. I'd much rather just go to the gym. There are obviously so many days where I don't feel like going, but those are the days that separate you from everyone else as well. If you want to involve other people, think of the amount of times people don't go to a gym or don't do something because they don't feel like it. If you only did things when you felt like it, nothing would get done, or a small minority of substantial things would get done, because you're not always going to feel like it. You're not always going to feel like you want to do some work today. You're not always going to feel like you want to go work out today. You're not always going to feel these different feelings and therefore have actions that follow them. You shouldn't rely on your feelings or your emotions to get things done. You should rely on your discipline. And that's important, because the discipline was what will separate you from being best than you were yesterday. And that's important when we're trying to look at a fulfilling life. You see how it all links? A lot of these videos will almost intertwine, and I think it's a nice summarizing the year that we've had through these videos, of seeing, how all these different topics somehow link to one another. It's a big spidergram, right? It's a big spidergram, as everything linking together. It's cool to see, right? And so if we can take a piece of the pie here, a piece of the pie there, and link it all together, I think that will help you live a much more fulfilling life. Going forward, go into your day-to-day lives. Recognize when you feel that feeling, especially in the example I just gave. Maybe you have the exact same example. Recognize the feelings that you feel and push them aside and do it. You will not regret that. And if you do regret that, I want you to tell me, because I want to hear all about your regret and how you push yourself physically or mentally and you regret doing it. I can't even think of a time where I've done that. Even if you want to challenge yourself mentally, books nowadays are challenging mentally because it's not quick. It takes time. It's methodical. You have to go through page by page, reading the information on the page. That may push yourself mentally. That pushes me mentally at the moment. That's what I try and strive to do. So each task that you can do, and you feel these emotions that are affecting you, push them aside and just go straight for it, because I promise you, you will not regret trying. I'm leaving you with a quote with no author this time. Push yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you.